Hi, my name is Spencer Rainey, and I've been researching the contributions of the Presbyterian Church on education in America during the 1800s. The essential need for basic education has been established long before America was discovered. America's first education system was solely homeschooling to establish etiquette and literacy. The Puritans felt that literacy, particularly in Latin, was essential to being a good Christian. The first public school in America was established in Boston in 1635. The Boston Latin School, designed for boys of upper class. Harvard was established within the same year, being the first higher education established in America, also catering specifically to boys of wealthy families. Both schools are still in operation today, naturally with different acceptance criteria. The Puritans were the main religion when the colonies were established in America. However, it was not long after that other religions took root in the New World. The Presbyterian Church was a split off of the Protestant Church starting in the 1700s. With a plethora of religious denominations growing across the country, each strove to play an important role in the country's development. Civilization, indeed, is characterized by the dominating faith of a nation or a race. The Presbyterians have made many contributions to the establishment of current America. However, the contributions to the education system are some of their more notable. The Presbyterian Church has made the greatest contributions to Christian education and public education in the 1800s, not only for their personal mission, but also for the betterment of the American people. In the 1800s, the Presbyterian Church committed to education, starting with the encouragement of Christian studies of young men in hope that they would pursue ministerial work. In a denomination which demanded high intellectual accomplishments in its ministries and an understanding of doctrine on the part of its membership, educational agencies were essential to the church. Education was not just a means to advance Christianity, but it was also a way to encourage valued ethical behavior for the benefit of society. It was not until decades later that they did embrace education for everyone. The Educational Society, referred to as just the Society of the Presbyterian Church in the United States of America, was the first group ever established to support education in the U.S. The society was fully functioning by 1820, and their original goal was to support education of pious youth to join the Presbyterian ministry. 14 years of operation, and the society became the Board of Education of the General Assembly of the Presbyterian Church and agreed to turn their attention to encouraging general education. Their main goal was to provide education at a lower cost. They established scholarship programs within communities to assist with educational costs for those who could not afford schooling but wanted the education. They opted to promote education to and for everyone across the country, regardless of their educational goals. The General Assembly realized that the states were pushing for education themselves, that in not supporting general education, they would have to be replaced by non-religious centered schools. Education is key to having a strong faith, to understanding Scripture and upholding God's will. Dr. Mackin, a renowned Presbyterian minister, argued that a lack of Christian education would and will result in a lack of moral conduct and have a negative influence on society. Under their new mission to support education for everyone, the Presbyterian Church turned their focus to maintaining schools to encompass every educational institute and its students. Education is an integral part of the Presbyterian Church's ministries, but also their membership, because it allowed everyone to understand the truths of the Bible and to uphold those truths in society. The first Presbyterian Church was established in 1746, which is the College of New Jersey, which later became known as Princeton University in 1896. However, great progress occurred in the 1800s with the expansion of the Western frontier. Armed with their mission to encourage education, the Presbyterian Church was able to establish 49 colleges and universities in 21 states of the Union before the Civil War in 1861. Over 100 years later, 18 of those colleges are still in operation, making the Presbyterian Church number one in their endorsement of higher education. In 1854, Lincoln University was the first school to educate free slaves and their children, making the Presbyterian Church the first denomination to support, encourage, and provide education to the African American community. This is even more remarkable because it was in a time when the world refused to accept the Black community as equal as whites. The Presbyterian Church has provided a vast number of increases in education, and that was what I mentioned just prior to the Civil War. They even made more progress after the Civil War. My research does focus just on private and public education, not their seminaries, which is a whole nother branch. So they definitely did the most contributions to education in the 1800s. So thank you.